If you are a woman, then this video is for you. So please don't skip and hear me out. Why you figure out toxicity in a man you love, and things start so well and they end up either with divorce or breakup. So what is the concern and where the things are lacking? Is it something with you, or this is something with your partner, or this is karmic? So let's understand what really happens and where it generally affects you. As a person, nobody, whether it's a man or a woman, nobody ever want breakup. So we don't want breakup. Nobody want breakup. But when we find love, what is the first thing which we need to check from the astrological point of view is the placement of Venus. Because Venus do attract love, Venus do attract desire. Love and desire, they both have a common parameter. Some people in their 20s or late 20s or sometimes in 30s, they do want stability. Most people in early 20s, they don't want stability. They are either choosing fling nowadays, or they want a partner for a specific scenario. Whenever Venus is highly active in your chart, that means Venus will demand love, Venus will demand desire, Venus will demand lust. So these things will become a priority element, and in this priority element you will be more focused, you will be more keen to find a right man who can give you or who can fulfill your desires. So whether this thing will continue in the long term, that is very important. When you go for the desire, you are highly thinking from the Venus point of view, because Venus is all about your desire. Now the other aspect is, do you want stability? There we need to consider the placement of the moon, because moon at times is very important from a stable point of view. There are many women who I even speak, they are looking for a companion, and when I say a companion, a person who understands them. So they don't want a connectivity based on intimacy, based on just for lust. They do want a connectivity, intimacy which is pure, a connectivity based on a companion nature. So if there is an afflicted moon or moon is negative, it is going to give negativity when it comes to feelings. And when the feelings become negative, a person is unable to figure out what next, why the things are taking place, or why they are having an effect on us, and it generally affects us in a negative way. So Venus and the moon are so important aspect of it. Now there are certain people and there are certain women who generally start into a connectivity or a love affair in a very good momentum, but slowly it converts into one-way traffic, or it converts into a kind of a scenario where a third person get involved. Why this thing happen? Nobody's start a connectivity for divorce or breakup, but it happens only because they have a past life connect. And can astrology, very important point, can astrology verify that past life connect? The answer is absolutely yes, but it cannot verify it, because verification do need something to validate, and we can't as an astrologer validate and foresee what happened in the past life on an exact basis. So how we can do it? We have to consider the placement of Saturn in your chart, and Saturn a kind of a planet which is always considered as a karmic scenario. So if there is a karmic debt, what is karmic debt? Karmic debt means a placement which is related to a loss. So that means you will come into a connectivity which will turn into a love affair, ultimately ending up with a breakup or divorce, which is also not your choice. The other part, why you attract toxicity, is always relevant with the nodes of the moon. That is the north node and the south node, which is also known as in the Vedic astrology, famously known as Rahu and Ketu. They also play a vital role in terms of desire. If somebody have an afflicted moon, afflicted Venus, or aspect of the moon and Venus with something with the Rahu and Ketu or the nodes of the moon, that means you will always attract toxicity and toxic people will come in your life, and toxic gender will come in your life. And I'm talking from a female point of view, because if we talk about from a male point of view, we have to consider some other planets. So from a female point of view, Venus is the key element, Moon is the key element. Moon is going to be valid for the Moon, for the male as well, but from a female point of view, Venus and the Moon are the key critical planets. Now sometimes, sometimes it's always a case where toxicity happen because of childhood trauma. And whenever a childhood trauma take place, a childhood trauma is all about, how the past or how the teenage has been, there for any kid, and how, they are, moving ahead with their adulthood, and how things are moving for them at a certain age. Because there are certain women, and specifically in the Western countries, where they have, traumatized childhood, childhood pattern, which is why they are forced to find somebody sooner than late, a partner or a person who can understand them. So they have to consider the placement of their Moon and Saturn, because nobody have the right to have a control or to justify where they will take birth. So the birth is beyond our control. A person will be taking birth at a place where they are destined to. So the parents or traumatized childhood always depend on a specific planet. Moon and Saturn do play a vital role. We can't change those things, but what we can do, we can learn. If you have a toxicity, what we can do from astrological point of view, can I change that negativity in your chart? Absolutely no. Can I reduce that negativity? There are chances I can try. But can I get 100% success? Absolutely no. Because at the end of the day, astrologer is not, highlighting your chart on 365-day basis, 24/7 basis. It is all about a native. Native meaning a person, a female, which I am taking as an example in this video. So whenever a female want love is the purest form. You want love, you will find love. It doesn't mean that, love someone, be a lover, but don't be a blind lover. So love is blind, lover is not blind. That is my ultimate motto to help you out. And if you are following my video, you will understand there are certain placements, they play a role. How to avoid it? We can't avoid, a karmic scenario. We can't change our childhood pattern. But what we can avoid, we can take a pause between the transits and the phases which do not work in our favor. And we can skip that negativity, or we can postpone that negativity, which can, affect a certain age. Because when something happens at an early age, it generally affects us from a male or female point of view. It affects our personality, it affects our momentum, it affects our mood, it affects everything. It affects the people we love and care. So it will change our personality. So it is always wise for you to consider all these steps. Take it wise, be slow. If you made mistakes in the past, it is okay. If you are still in that process, take your time, because there is no formula for you to, nobody can tell you that, just take 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. It is up to you. You can take 2 years, you can take 2 months, you can take 20 years. The traumatized person, if something bad has taken place with them in their life, they are supposed to heal on the basis the way they can heal. There is no hard and fast rule. There is no formula for that particular concept. The only formula is to trust the process and understand whatever happened, it happened for your good from your soul perspective. And from your body perspective, it is supposed to happen. So you are reducing that negativity for your next life. So from that point of view, it is always wise to consider what happened next will be better for you. I hope it clarifies. And if you like my video, like, subscribe and comment, and do let me know what kind of a content you want to hear, and what kind of video you want to hear, and support my channel. So thank you so much. Namaste. Take care. Bye bye.